So the nice thing about
Hmm.
this setup is I don't stress a whole lot about production quality things, but I like just being available, right? So I just want to be available to do things for you or for whoever, and that's the mode. So let's get everybody caught up. You have this project. Tell us about the project.
This project I started back in September for my university, and it was supposed to like help us learn about like teamwork. And we had a company come in and say, "Hey, this is one of our core parts of our infrastructure is a ticketing system." And they were like, "Why not you try to make it? We're going to grade, and then the professor's supposed to grade us on our teamwork and if we complete our tasks well." And yeah, I have it in a somewhat finished state. It's not 100% complete, but again, like the enemy of perfection is done. So you got to at some point say you're done.
Yep.
Um, so that's what I've been trying to do is run that with GraalVM and then turn that into a container so I can possibly run that in my own Kubernetes cluster that
Awesome.
I have at home.
Awesome. That's great. So we got a ticket system. We're trying to get it to a container so we can run it on Kubernetes. I think that's a awesome plan. Where are we at? You want to share your screen?
Um, oh yeah, 1 second here. Then we will go to, well, yeah, I'll just do the whole screen. Why not? So right now we are just finishing up, or how we start going into Graal. Yeah, 1 second. I well, we're 90%, so we have to be very close.
Okay, it's RoboTech.
Um,
Is awesome. Thank you so much for showing up. Always, you're always here, and I appreciate you so much. And I do have a gift for you on the way. It is out of storage and it's ready to be packed. I haven't taken it to delivery yet, but thank you for being here. I appreciate you. We're building, and this process takes a while. We get it. Oh, did I lose you? Oh, Ian might have froze up. It looks like Ian froze up. And that happens, right? So we'll get it figured out. We'll get Ian a chance to fix his situation. I'm gonna shoot a message. Yep, I see that. He sent me a message on Discord saying that he's overheating. So we'll get him figured out. Like these are common things. So while he's figuring things out, we'll do this. I will jump back to what I got another project that I'm working on. So let's just jump in and we'll go until Ian gets back. I was working through some issues that I had there from last night. I've got my clusters. The thing that I was working on yesterday is I had these Libre computers. So let's take a look at what we've got there. Kubectl get nodes. It took me a while. I struggled with one of these nodes. The disk, you can see I kind of finished this just 4 hours ago. What was I doing? Oh yeah. So I finished this not too long ago where the SD card that had the bootloader was failing. Even though it was passing its tests, it was writing properly, it was having issues, and I finally got that working. I needed to step away. I needed to step away from it for a little bit, and I finally got it working. So I'm happy there. All right, Ian.
After that overheating,
Yep.
I am not.
We have to. We got to get you to offload the heavy compute. We got to offload that to another computer, but you're
I've
also streaming, right? So there's a lot of stuff
yes.
happening, and if you don't have a GPU or something, helping out with that kind of stuff, I get it.
So I was looking. I don't know if you want to do this also. I know this is another added thing. I was looking at your Circle CI for a minute there, and I
Huh?
was like, should we go down that road or should we just
I mean,
try to
we
build it here?
we might as well go down that road. That's the kind of
Okay.
I think that's the good approach. I'd much rather be a git commit to get that container. It'll take us a couple of extra steps, but it'll also offload all of that
Hmm.
to another system, right? So you can hopefully save your overheating for important things like gaming, right?
I mean, this is literally this is not my gaming rig, but this is usually just my like school. Because what I've done is I have like a Steam Deck too that kind of does. That's what I use for my gaming. But
Yep.
all right, I'm gonna just sign up here really quick to Circle CI.
All right. So now Circle CI is what I use for ARM64. The GitHub Actions, you already have GitHub. We could just
Yes.
follow the GitHub Actions approach and just do this with GitHub Actions. It might be easier.
All right. Am I showing my whole screen correct,
I see
or
your
is it
IDE.
just IntelliJ? Okay.
Yeah, I just see the IDE.
So share screen. There we go.
What you will need to do is you will need to set up a Docker Hub registry.
Okay.
Either way, right? You'd have to do that either way. So maybe that's a good
So
step. And I'm going to peek because I got another friend who is kind of around the same place, looking to learn some of these new same things. So I'm going to
XYZ. Can I? Okay, no. I have to have my domain here. I'm gonna drop that.
maybe do that offline.
Okay.
Here. Yeah, I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna take over the screen. You do that. You get your Docker Hub set up, and I'm going to do some stuff. I'm gonna go over here. So you let me know when you have your Docker Hub set up. We'll have to create a key that we can give to GitHub Actions so it can deploy our image.
So yeah, I cannot be showing my screen then.
Right. So
Probably not.
I'm gonna look
Okay.
here. I've got cluster mesh installed. I've got Cilium. I think that I had that installed, but that's okay. Nothing much else. There's nothing else up and running. But I want to do this. I want to do can service -a, and there's nothing. Wait, do I even have? Did I have Knative? I didn't. I don't have Knatives running here. Why is that? So let's go take a look. I'm gonna open up my Flux control.
Okay. GitHub Actions.
And my Flux control is the thing that I use to deploy services. So let me pull that up. So this will kind of tie into the Kubernetes side of things. It'll absolutely tie into the Kubernetes side of things. But now I'm second guessing myself. Wait, I don't want to do this.
GitHub Actions. Boot build image Gradle.
So we're co-working. So do your thing. I'll keep on.
Okay.
We'll get this figured out. This is my Flux control. This is the repository that I want to do git commit to change my infrastructure. Now, one of the things that I don't see here is I don't see any infrastructure in this basement cluster. And I still have Cilium and everything installed. So I did some stuff, and I think that's okay. I just don't remember. It's been a while. So let me add some of the things that I like to add. I'm going to start here. So in my infrastructure, I want to add Knative serving. So these are both ARM, so this should be just fine. So I'm going to just copy. Actually, I'm going to make a new. I'm going to make a new directory here called infrastructure. And that infrastructure directory is going to hold this stuff. I think I'm going to have a new pattern for how I deploy tenants. But yeah, just do this stuff. deploy Knative serving ARM64. And I think that's all I need to do. So that will allow me to deploy services. Now the other piece here is I've got this Cloudflare D. I think I'm going to change the way I do this. I think I'm going to change this because I want to kind of fit the pattern. So anyways, let's get Knative serving set up. I feel like I need one more step. Let me remind myself how I do this. I have secrets. I have my Cloudflare D namespace. But when I set up Knative, ARM64, believe I just do knative.shine.cloud and then I redirect everything from there. So everything has the same domain and that's okay. So let's do this. Let's get Knative deployed to our basement cluster. And to do that, I'm just going to do this. I'm just to git commit. Everything should just be a git commit. If you're doing more than git commit, then think git status, git add, git commit, add Knative serving. Okay, so I'm committing that into this basement cluster, which is kind of my production cluster. It's the one that I've been adding things to. And this will be a very interesting experiment because I've got a bunch of different infrastructure here. Let's take a look here. I've got Raspberry Pis. I've got different flavors of Raspberry Pi. I've got different flavors of the Libre computer. I've got an Ampere developer box. I've got some power over Ethernet deployed Raspberry Pis. Hello, Tukes. Welcome in. We're kind of just like working through some stuff. We had a little technical difficulty, so I am making some upgrades to what is my production cluster because now that I've got most of I moved some things around. Most of my infrastructure has been deployed, but I'm still making some changes. I got to move some things around, and I got some fans that are really loud I want to fix. So what we did was we did a git commit to deploy Knative serving. We should go back here and we should see Knative serving start to show up here any minute if we've done this right. And it's got lots.
So there we go.
Ian is setting up his Docker Hub account so that as we start to
am setting up the action.
You're already setting up the action. Okay.
I'm trying to work on that. I've said in my registry or my repositories, hey, this is what it is.
Yep.
So I don't know what secret I need yet, but
yep, I'll show you exactly while you're getting that set up. I'll kind of give you a shortcut. What we looked at yesterday. Did I even fix it? If I go to github.com, the one that we were looking at yesterday was my gateway service. My gateway service had both Circle CI and GitHub Actions. So the GitHub action here, yours should be
I can take that.
similar. You can copy this.
Because I was following something from Gradle.
Tuke says your keyboard's a little too loud. I don't know how we can change that. Yeah, I want to be able to hear you. Thanks for that note, Tukes.
All right, gateway service, right?
Yep.
And then there's the ARM64 native.
I do the AMD 64 native.
Or sorry,
the GitHub action. So it's just got to go in that folder .github/workflows.
Yes. Okay, so then I do
copy and paste
not
the whole thing.
Okay, yeah, I need everything, including that manifest down in the bottom. Okay.
Yep. This stuff you don't need the manifest right now, so we can get rid of all that.
Okay. So just remove the manifest.
Yep.
And then it needs my secrets, and I need to register that inside
So
my
you,
repo.
you don't have to put the Docker Hub. That doesn't have to be a secret, right? That's your image name. So whatever your
Yes.
Docker Hub username is, mine's Deshaun. I could have just put Deshaun there. I do this for consistency. But that token that you created, that's really the only
I'm
thing
going to
that's
have to
on your
find
secrets.
that. I'm going to have to find that in a minute. I'm assuming that's like in my account settings, isn't that?
So let's show. If I go to Hub, if I go to Docker Hub and I sign in, I can do this, right? Maybe not. I just want to sign in. See, I put all my stuff over here. Yeah, this. Give me that secret. Two-factor off. Uh-oh, I don't think I have my other phone. This would be interesting. Can I off? I split my two-factor stuff across multiple
Phones.
devices. So then
Yeah.
if I do, find myself in a bad situation, I didn't lose everything. Right? Or if something happens.
Is it an access token?
Yep. You just need to have an
Read.
access token.
Okay.
My phone is dead. I do have it, but it's dead.
Okay. And I'm going to throw that. Let me find my repo just because I have so many and I need to like cut them down.
Yeah. I get it. We're working through stuff. So while you do that, I'm going to scoot back over here and see. So my knative serving is not deploying as it should. So let's take a look and see what's happening. Google get customizations. So this one says, hey, timeout. The namespace knative serving status, it's terminating. So this operator is not working. So it sees that it's going, but did I do it right? Knative serving. I said knative serving. I said ARM64. So,
Okay, what's your secret? What do you name it? And that is secrets, that Docker Hub token. Add secret. It's going to contain alphanumeric. Underscores. There might be some type of white space or something. Oh, I gotta remove the dot secrets to it. It's just Docker Hub token probably. Then copy and paste that. Yep. Now. XYZ. And I think that's all I need to do. There, Docker Hub token, Docker push -a. I need to change that to. Okay. to make a commit, and I think this will be my first attempt trying it.
Okay.
1 minute. I'm going to probably just do this. Build Gradle. Some minor alterations, but and then should I commit the actual it's I forgot what it's called, but it's that part of Graal where it detects the
tracing metadata.
Yes. Should I
Yes.
okay. Because I don't think I have that enabled like in Gradle.
But we copy it over. We got to copy it over. So show me. Let's pull that up.
All right. Am I sharing screen already? Or
yep.
So what I did was I pointed to the location of where it was supposed to be.
Yep. There you go.
So should I just commit this?
Yep. Yep. We want that.
Because I had to like edit like VM options.
Yep. That's where it's.
Man, that bell is loud. Oh wait. Not that. Are we also missing 1 second? I'm going to just give it a generic commit for right now. I want to also see if I am committing that. Git add. And then I put in the dot git ignore. That's why. I'm going to have to override that. Rebase -I head of 2, I believe. If I can spell rebase right. Still can't. Okay, fine. Git stash rebase. So then I want to and I forgot this is actually, can I just do a delete word? Okay, that works enough. That's close. Well, I don't know Vi well enough, so I'm gonna probably not do that.
That's all right. I'm trying to look at the issue that I ran into yesterday. It appears that my builder image is getting pulled in by Docker or by GitHub Actions is the wrong one.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to try to work through that real quick.
So the workflow, I don't know if it triggered or not. Has no runs yet.
Oh, so now if you copied mine, remember, go back and look at the GitHub workflow. If you copied mine, remember mine only triggers on tags right there.
Tags.
Tags.
Okay, I don't know. I have not created a tag before, so
options. You can say, hey, just go ahead and do it all the time, or you can say only on tags. So it's up to you. But if you want to do it on tags, we just create a tag.
So I need to go to tag here, there aren't any releases here. So create a new release. Set as pre-release at this point.
This is going to build a release, so it's going to capture the artifact and do it. I'm going to have you do it from the command line.
Okay.
Because I don't want to confuse myself.
All right.
space, no, do git tag space v no space 0.0.1. Yep, enter. Now git push origin, git push origin space v 0.0.1.
Space.
Yep. V 0.0.
Okay, VR. Okay, because I've never done a tag in Git at all.
Yep. So now,
wow,
that's put a point in time, and that's now this is the way that I do. Now we're telling, hey system, I believe that this code is ready for a container creation. Go do it. So now you should go look at your GitHub action.
Okay.
And in the actions, we should see a run.
Ooh. All right. Let's see what we did here.
There we go. Edit code 127, no such file.
I think I know why. Because it's split.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you gotta
modify the workflow, right?
And now that you're building that, so TuxAS, what kind of app are you going to build? This is an app. It's a ticketing system that Ian built for his university, and we're just kind of like taking it to the next step, exploring. Like, hey, like get past the MVP and see if we can take it further. So we're just expanding on a project he did for college.
All right, 1 minute. I guess I can just do a add -p accept get. I should add that as a tag, but do I need to push to main, or can I automatically create a tag?
So I always do the commit, and then I just do that same git tag my next version, and then git push origin tag. That's, again, there's probably a bit easier, better way to do that. That's just how I do it. So somebody that knows Git better than I do, let me know what the cheat code is.
All right, so then git push. Now, I'm going to just, I have to increment this, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, Thomas. Welcome in. We are working on a college project for Ian. And yesterday we upgraded it to Spring Boot 3.2. We changed out the implementation. We figured out some issues that we were having with the native images. And yeah, now we're just trying to take a project he did for college, just trying to take it a little bit further, build images for it. The GDN images work, but now we're running into OCI image issues.
I got an exit of 1 here. Give me a second. Does not contain a Gradle build. A Gradle build should contain a settings Gradle or settings Gradle.ks.
You changed into CB project. It should be CB backend.
Oh, wait. Okay. 1 second. VS Code here. I did run./CB backend. Gradle W.
So, but it's still, when you run that, it's still, you need to change into that directory, I think.
All right. CB project like that with a capital P. C, okay, capital CB, yes.
I think.
Because I see home code, project, CB backend.
Show me your action again. I think what you want to do is on that run command.
Mm-hmm.
What you want to do is.
This is new, by the way.
Yep. I think you want to do CD, CB space backend. So online, whatever that line is, 23.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to, back it up. Do CD space CB backend into the backend folder.
And just do an and.
That.
Okay.
Is
all
that
right.
the right folder name though? Isn't it like CB dash backend?
Yes. It's capital
There you go.
Let's give that a shot.
And then the build is, you want boot build image.
So,
Instead of
wait,
just build, you want
yeah.
boot build image.
Boot build image.
Oh, yeah. And
Do I need to add that too as that?
I think we already set up the image name.
I might have named it different compared to the.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you've got to now use your Docker, so you can change it there, change it either way. But yeah, we want to make sure that we can push it.
So should I just maybe leave it like this and see if that works?
Is that
should I?
so? Is that your username on Docker Hub? Ian
Yes.
XYZ.
Yes.
Yep.
And then I think this is the correct name for the.
I think you can just do that. We'll try it.
All right.
Thomas,
VS Code.
Ian is in the Discord as well. I saw your stuff that you were doing with Loom. And yeah, I could probably do that while we're iterating on this. We could probably do that. So I heard, or I saw Mohammed's feedback on the Windows limits. Did you have a repository that you made? Maybe I'll just take, oh yeah, you did. I think you shared that in the Discord. I'll see if I can I'll pull that down. Well, Ian's working on this. I'll pull that down and I'll see if I can run it. I think you did share a GitHub repo. Yep, Gatling Virtual Threads demo. So I will pull this up and I will share it on the screen for everybody. And let's just see what happens since you're here. Like, we're all just like working together and we're doing stuff. So I'm gonna let Ian do a build. I'm gonna jump over here. And I'm gonna grab Thomas's project and it's okay. It's okay to multitask, right? It's a safe place. We're hanging out with friends. Fun. This. Let's get it. Let's get into that. Let's see what we got. This is just my default steps. So
I think it's working on my end.
So
I'm going to rotate back to you for a minute and watch you.
So Thomas is working on one of the new features that became available with 3.2 is we have this virtual threads support. My buddy Dan did a demo. I think that's where we're taking this from. We had this just kind of like simple test of like, hey, how is virtual threads going to help us? And Thomas was running into an issue where he was running his this test. So let's run blocker and waiter and do this, and then running the Gatling test with virtual threads 50%. So let's, excuse me, sorry about that. Let's do this. So let's run this. Permission denied, chmod plus X.
So virtual threads is like, is that kind of the latest and greatest to use instead of thread pools, right? Because then you can like get around what the operating system gives you for like threads.
Yep, that's exactly right. So, we have our bytecode here, and then I like put my runtime here, and that all runs on the operating system. And what we were doing in the past was we would create that thread pool, but that thread pool was using operating system threads. And one of the things that we ran into, it says Ian is a lot louder than you, Deshaun. Okay, let me turn up my volume here and turn that down and see if that helps. I always, right, audio is always the tough part. Thomas, thanks for the feedback. Let me know if that's any better. But the OS thread by thread pool, like this is what we did. One good explanation I saw from the SAP machine guy that it's like hyper-threading for Java. Yeah. So instead of this, what we were keeping inside of the JVM, this is just a number in my head. It was like 2 meg per thread of metadata
Mm-hmm.
inside of the JVM to keep track of those threads. On top of that, we were using operating system threads, and we would always run into that thread limits of the operating system, right? So with the virtual threads, we're basically just handling it inside. We're handling it inside of the JVM. So when I do that same thing, the JVM is handling it. So we have that, yeah, all the performance and benefits of the JVM, not messing with the operating system.
Not operating
so
system
all
at
of that
all.
benefit, yeah, stays inside of here, and it's it's virtually unlimited, right? Maybe I'll put an asterisk there. Yeah, it's millions, right? Is the number that we can handle. But again, the size of your JVM, but it doesn't affect the operating system. We don't have to make operating system changes in order to get that level of scalability. So we can do some really interesting things. And the performance of the JVM is amazing, and we can keep on going. But Thomas was, kind of like wanting to show and do an example of like, hey, show me the benefit of running virtual threads. But what he ran into was the virtual threads on Windows. He was running into a limitation. And typically, and I don't even want to say that, but we're going to go to production. I like to take containers to production. So the Windows operating system limit or thread limits or whatever the issue is, I can get around that by deploying a Linux container. So Thomas tried increasing the Tomcat connection limit and next threads. So let's just take a look. Let's just run this example and see if we can get some progress.
I might have to move really quick, so give me 1 second.
Do your thing, yeah. So let's run. So this is running. Fantastic. Run blocker and waiter. So now let's do this test run. Should I do that at the same time? Thomas, do you want to just jump in? I'm going to send you an invite via Discord, and we'll hang out if you got a minute. If you got a minute, cool. And if not, no big deal. But I'll give you the invite, and I'll leave it up to you. So you have an invite over on Discord, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to keep on going. So I'm going to leave that running. This is the test run. Actually, I'm going to cancel this one, and I'm going to do this. Okay, you do have them starting on different ports, so let's just do this. Let's run that here. And then over here, we'll run this one. So I got one started on 8081, and I've got one started on 8080. So now let's just go over here and run in the third window, AMVNW Gatling test. And it's going, and it fails. It says waiting for percentage of failed events is less than or equal to 1, and I got 2.7. So 2.7 of these, 2.7% failed. So did this test hit both? Let's go and see what we're doing. Source. Okay, there's the Gatling plugin. Oh, I bet you I have some charts. Fantastic.
I'm back.
Wonderful. I think, here on this output, I should have it here. Open the following files. Let's see what we got. Oh, sorry. Let's bring this over and see what we've got. So
It builds.
fantastic.
Yep.
So now run that container locally
Okay.
and see if
Build. There's a tag. Docker pool right here.
awesome. I'm gonna try to see what's going on here. We had failures, all requests. Cool. This is the premature close. We had failures, and then we had things that work.
It's up. I
Fantastic.
did not enable the demo users. Oh, wow. That's okay. Cool. Even Swagger works now. Okay.
Fantastic. So
Yeah,
check this
because I
out.
was having
Here.
issues.
Hey, Thomas is here. Thomas, thanks for hanging out with us. I'm going to switch
Hello.
over to Ian real
Howdy.
quick. Whoops.
Sorry.
Yep.
Sure.
So I'm switching over to Ian. Ian, we were now up and running. So we worked
Yeah.
through some issues around GraalVM getting his image to work. The fact that Gradle does a native image by default. We had to work through that, and we proved out that hey, the regular JVM image works fine. The only problems we had were when we went to the native image. So then we showed how to add hints to our application. Like, hey, I'm using these resources. I had to tell GraalVM, go find these resources. Here they are. Here's your hint. And then we got over that hurdle. We changed out the data faker part of his demo. We changed that out, got that working, and now Swagger's working. So things are looking good. So
Very
why
nice.
don't you give us a demo, Ian, real quick?
All right. Let me see if I can create a user and see if this works out as intended here.
It's not like it doesn't have to be a big thing.
User ID needs to be null. I need to probably fix that up.
Okay.
So there we go. Oh, I got a 401 again. That's weird. I should not be. Okay, username's already taken because it's connected to my. 1 second. I realize I have a Postgres. It's not H2 anymore.
Yep.
So I think this should work out the box. Got my JWT. Authorized. Close. Now, this might present an error. We'll see. I got an empty for some reason, but
Of your
that's my
changes?
tickets. Yes, changes or tickets.
Okay.
I'm going to open up dbeaver really quick and see maybe what's going on here.
The thing is,
Postgres.
it's connecting. You're authenticating. You have a user.
Schema, public, tables.
It's empty.
Yes. Let me check to see what I put in my application properties really quick. There we go. CB project.
Thomas, you're in somewhere. Vienna?
Not yet. I'm going tomorrow.
Okay. It's
Okay.
nighttime for you. Thomas, you're in Germany still?
Yeah.
Right? Right on.
It's like
Ian,
10 o'clock here.
awesome. I met Ian when he was in high school. He was a AP computer science student. And I met
What's
him
AP?
in advanced placement.
So
Advanced what?
for school advanced placement, what it is basically we have a organization that provides standardized testing, but also many schools from like the US will generate tests and they'll say this is what our requirement should be. If you score like this high on the test, we'll give you college credit for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So
So that's how it works. So like when you're in high school, if you're excited about something or moving fast in something, you can go into these advanced placement programs, classes, and and then hopefully test out of some classes in college. So we're just working through this. We just want to show the demo. We've done a lot of great work. We've made a lot of progress.
So the demo is GraalVM, or what's the demo?
So he did this project for his college, where basically it was a local bank. Is a big part of what we do is this ticketing system, trouble tickets, change requests, etc. And they kind of explained it, and then as a team at university, different teams went out and kind of implemented this a ticket system, a kind of an MVP ticket system, and then they presented it. So he's done with the class, but he had this cool use case that he wanted to like upgrade. Right, he watches office hours and he's playing along, and this is like his fun use case that he wanted to upgrade to the latest and greatest, and then deploy it as a native image because he's got a Kubernetes cluster that he runs internally. So he wanted to deploy it as an image. So it's just
Nice.
experiments, fun, learning.
so
Nice.
And
I
you
have
learn
some
from
of
the
this.
from the issues. So now
Yeah,
your tables
it's
are
the
there.
best.
Oh, I know why. I'm logged in as a user. That's my first problem, I think.
Okay.
Let's actually see, since I just have this already public here, all this database stuff. Let's find a user that we can use. Role, that's one. Perfect. Usernames, Gardner.
Are you using just Spring Security as authentication? And
Yes,
yourself?
I'm using OAuth 2 resource server to like generate the JWTs. I've seen other people I know make their, what is it, filter chain to do that, but I want to try to like stay in the bounds of Spring in some ways.
Yeah, I've just finished today my article on Spring Authorization Server.
Mhm.
So I hope it gets published next week or the week after that.
Where did you submit it to?
It's for it's like for a startup.
Okay.
They asked me to write an article for like Spring Boot stuff,
Awesome.
and so it's the first article, and maybe I'll get some more. That would be
Yeah.
awesome.
I need to see what's going on here. I'm going to turn off this container really quick, and I'm going to see if it's working on just
Right.
the
I'm
normal
going to
version
switch
here.
screens. While
Okay.
you do that,
Yeah.
you get ready for a demo. I'm going to switch over here, and we're going to look at Thomas's project. So here's
Cool.
Thomas's repository. We're basically just trying to use Gatling to demonstrate the same things that we demonstrate in our typical virtual threads demo.
Yeah, I wanted to make it more realistic because like Dan in his video was like, yeah, we do 60 requests and like have 10 threads, and I was like, why so not so many? And I was like, okay, with Gatling you can do like 10,000 at a time very easily.
Yep.
And so how the project is structured, so I have the same application, I run it twice, and I have one controller, and one method is blocking. It blocks for a certain amount of seconds, and then I have a scenario that runs when that's in the tests. And so if you go there,
So I ran both apps. I got the
Yeah.
one running on 8080. I've got running on 8081. If I go here into source test,
yeah, it's exactly. So the virtual threads are enabled for the test run and for the like not for I think for Gatling itself, not only for like the. I basically run the same app twice.
yep.
And so in the load test scenario, there's the Gatling scenario. Yeah. So there, I make the request to 8080. Then I have an execute on /wait, and then with 1 second, and then checks that the status is 200.
Okay.
And then the scenario that is run, there you can define different things. Like here, I have 1,000 users request at one time, because that's like the thing with Loom, because it's non-blocking.
Yep.
And
It should spin up those virtual threads instantly.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where I run into Tomcat limits. And then if you pull in, I just pushed a version, the stuff I did earlier, with like increasing the Tomcat limits.
So let's stop this. That stopped, and that stopped. Let's do a get pull. All right, so now we got the latest. So what we've done in source main resources.
I did it in both. I did it both in test and main.
Server Tomcat max connections, we said 100,000. Tomcat threads max, we said 100,000. Up here, we said enable virtual threads.
Yeah.
And then down here, we said the exact same thing, except we gave it a different port.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. So let's just see what we get. So let's run this again.
That's like really cool that you can just have the same application just running twice with like the test application stuff.
Oh yes. Here we go. Running again. And now let's run our tests. So our test, though, it's
you have to change that. I've tried it against the authorization server, like because the guy on Discord said I should. It's HTTPS. You gotta change it to the HTTP. Because the guy said, yeah, it's Windows limits. I was like, well, I have a Linux thing deployed. Let's try that.
Change this to wait, right?
Yeah, wait, and then +1. Yeah, it already suggested +1. And just waits. So the wait method creates a get request to /block, and that actually has a thread block in it because I wanted to decouple them.
Yep.
Because otherwise, I don't think I can get the Loom advantage. Like if I just do thread.wait in my one application. Yeah, if you go into Java main, there's the demo controller. Yeah, so I have wait /seconds, and then that makes get request to /block. And because we only request wait for the one, like we have two separate processes running. So that's why that's how I don't want it to like have the thread blocking as an issue, like simulate an external dependency being blocking, like a database.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So let's try this.
And because like the demo that Dan did was like, okay, now it's 12 seconds and not 20, and I was like, okay, with Gatling we can have like more visuals representation of like the yeah. I think something's wrong with the local hosting. Right? Yeah, I think the path is wrong. It should be localhost 8080/wait/seconds. Oh, there's a slash. There's a slash missing. Yeah, that should work.
Okay. Let's try it again.
So I think I just realized something.
I'm listening.
So what actually like grabs the resource. I forgot what that's called again. That grabs all that reflection or like tries to find
the
it during.
metadata from the
Yes.
tracing agent.
That doesn't happen instantaneously. I actually have to run every method, right? To like pick that up.
Yep.
Okay. That's why things weren't working for my demo then.
Okay.
And I was like, okay.
So now you're working?
I'm practically hitting as many endpoints as I can right now to
make sure that you have
gather.
your metadata. And you're doing that on the Swagger UI to generate the metadata.
Yes.
Perfect.
I don't know if I'm going to get every one of them right now, but I'll get close enough where I can show off a decent amount.
Yeah. All right, so I'll switch back over here. We're good, and this time things worked. Thomas, let me pull this back over.
3 status 401.
So this is this saying I had 100% good? We had a few that took a little bit longer, but we were able to scale up quickly and respond. Ooh, what happened?
I'm good with that for now. I think that.
Oh, I can't hear you, Thomas.
I muted myself.
There we go.
I forgot. So like like it seems like it's a Windows issue I had.
Yeah.
Because it works fine on Mac. But now, if you like try turning off virtual threads, like I wanted to like show the difference, because that's really visual, and like you can really easily with like Gatling get the difference between virtual threads visualized.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
turn off in both places?
Yeah.
Or just here? Both?
I'm actually not sure about that. You can probably tell me more about it, because like we're running against the main Spring Boot run, and the test run is like the wait method. Like if you go into the demo controller,
we should only have to do it here, because those will block inside of Tomcat.
Yeah.
Right. So we should only have to do it here to kind of see a difference.
Yeah.
So let's do that. We're just changing our main. We'll cancel that, and we should see a significant difference here. When we rerun, oops.
I think you wanted to write clean. Yeah.
Okay, and then we should be able to run this again, and we should see a significant difference.
Yeah.
Because the load is 10,000?
Yeah, it's 10,000 users ramping up over, I think, 5 seconds.
All right, it worked.
Okay. It also took 10 seconds.
Well, because those were not. Because on the back end, they were not blocking. Oh, so let me try this. Wait. It didn't block. It had no reason to.
Because it's 100,000 threads.
It had no reason to, right?
Yeah. I'm actually not sure, because like the now that it accepts 100,000 requests at a time.
Yep.
I don't think we can see a difference, because they all get done at the same time. Actually not.
We want to run into some issues, right?
Yeah. Like when does Loomis actually help? When we are over the Tomcat limits? But like your CPU doesn't have 10,000 threads or 100,000.
So we're working just fine.
Yeah.
We're passing, but what we want to do is also we want to look at performance.
Yeah.
Right. And we're not seeing a whole lot of difference.
Nope. If you go down, you can see the requests down more. Yeah, the number of responses per second. Yeah, that's the loom thing. Yeah.
So we slammed it with 10,000.
Yeah.
What we're trying to do is like show like, hey, when I've got this virtual threads enabled, I'm going to see this performance boost. I think I want to show you a better or another case that's on my mind. So if you don't mind hanging out.
Yeah, sure.
So this is one that I've done, and I brought this up yesterday. It's one that I've been doing for a long time. And let's bring this one up. Redis. So what I do here, the main thing here is I'm doing them one at a time. I'm doing inserts. Let me grab this and let's see if we can talk about this out loud. Think about this. Think about CD fun Sean.
Yeah, just to say, I'll probably like if my girlfriend's finished, I'll have to go
Okay.
because I'm gone a week, and she's not gonna be happy.
Got it.
That I don't spend time with her. So if she's finished, I have to go. But until then, I have time.
Let's change this. I think I have a SDK man RC. I'm gonna edit. I'll just do this. Let's pull this up.
Yeah, the thing is, I kind of wanted to try Dan's example, right?
Yep.
Because like he limited the thread pool to 10.
Mm-hmm.
But like if you don't have a connection between I have 10 CPU cores,
Yep.
and I set the max, I don't have to set the max. This max limit is not tied to the threads I have.
Yep.
What's the difference? Like we have the caching with Tomcat, because Tomcat has a request cache, right? And then like the what's it called? The max. Yeah, I think it's called the request cache, or like they store the requests.
Mm-hmm.
So at least if you don't like I wonder when you're going to get some improvements from a scenario like I showed, like Dan showed, with Loom.
So let's go back here. Let's go back to your example real quick. Tomcat threads max. Here. Right?
Yeah.
How many cores do I have? How do I tell how many cores I have? CPU info, cat,
Probably.
CPU. What? I don't see the same thing. How do I tell how many cores? How many cores on Mac? How many cores do I have? System information and like physical CPU 10. 10. All right, so that's a good number. So we are now limiting it to 10. Tomcat max connections. I'm going to take this out. I just want to see.
Yeah.
We're saying, hey, 10 threads. Let's go. Let's restart.
We should probably not set it to 10,000 because we're gonna wait for ever.
No, let's do it.
Okay.
So cool. We restarted that one. Oh wait, first of all, we have it we
With
don't
it
have
disabled.
that.
Yeah.
So now we're doing there. Let's see how long this takes. Let's see what happens.
It's gonna
Right,
take.
this is yesterday, right? This is before we had virtual threads. This is the example we're doing. Hey, I've only got 10 threads. Like, this is what I'm doing. Right?
But that's exactly the question I'm asking. You're now setting the Tomcat thread max limit to 10.
Yep.
But in production, you wouldn't do that. Because by default, it sets to 200.
Okay.
Like, the native hyperthreading is taking over, right?
Here, yeah, let's just do this. Right, let's do this.
Yeah, okay.
Right, let's just take the defaults and let's
Yeah.
see. Are we gonna see any benefit? Because what you and I are saying is there any value in this? If I go and enable this, is there value? So let's do this. Let's just say take the defaults.
Yeah.
Can I go to production and just change this one property? Do I get a benefit?
Yeah, and the question is also, okay, what's the difference between like setting tomcat.threads.max to 10,000 and enabling Loom? Like, what's the difference?
Yep.
Because like in my test, I didn't see a difference, right?
So what is the difference? So the difference is this. When you do it on the Tomcat threads, those are OS threads.
Yeah.
Now, the blocking part is like, hey, how much can your operating system handle? Right? We're not in a container. We're not in. So we're right now we're getting access to all the things.
Yeah, but the thing that's blocking in this case is the REST client making a REST request, and the request takes 1 second, right?
Yeah. Let's go back and look.
Yeah. So that's the blocking part. But
Yep.
I think the hyperthreading of your CPU realizes that it's waiting on some response, and in the meantime, the native hyperthreading is like going in there and using that thread. It's like that's the only way, in my example, that the 10,000 users at the same time making requests like get the same performance, right?
Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got. Okay. Like we're not doing anything. We're same as we were yesterday. Yesterday being before we had virtual threads. Cool. And it's okay if it takes a little while.
So we have 4,000. Yeah, now it's taking longer. So now you get socket connection exceptions. 19, 12%, 13%. Premature close. If you make the terminal bigger. Yeah, you see the connection time, so it's...
Yep.
So why did I get this 500 error? Servlet dispatch. GraalVM native image. Missing reflection registration error. Okay. User.getID, but that
we didn't get a great result. So let me close this. So this is today. Like this is our like, hey, we fall over when traffic spikes. This is where we're at.
Yeah.
So we had some success, but we had some issues, right?
Yeah.
So now let's turn on virtual
Yeah.
threads and let's see. Like we're just taking defaults on. All we're doing is changing the one property that we want to change.
Yeah.
And let's see. Like,
But I watched a talk about Loom from the Mark Thomas, from the Tomcat guy.
Yep.
And I probably have to rewatch it again because it was a few months ago, but it would be probably an interesting thing to ask him, like, okay, what's the difference between putting my Tomcat threads max to 100,000 and enabling Loom? Like, in my test, I had like...
yeah, you know what? It would be a good idea to take a look at that because does this the max connections versus threads that it's creating. Those are two different things, right?
Yeah. So the max connection is how many connections, like
Yeah.
active connection, I have at the same time.
Yep.
And it's basically my max limit of concurrent users.
Yep.
But like
So-
in a real world, you wouldn't have at the exact same time, right? The requests.
Yeah.
But like that's bit with the ramping up, right?
So now
That's
we're enabled, and we
Yeah.
just want to see it's like side by side, same.
Did you do it in the main as well? In the main application properties?
True.
Yeah, okay.
True. Let's just restart them just in case I forgot. So
Would
that's the
you?
main.
I hate to interrupt.
Yeah.
Would you advise me to maybe just remove all my Lombok? Because I'm having an issue getting the IDs. So I'm thinking about just stripping out the Lombok and let IntelliJ just remove that stuff out.
With the GraalVM native image, it's causing
Yes. You want me to show you the
What version
error
of
I was
Lombok?
getting?
What version of Lombok?
Let me check my build.gradle here.
We have to be at least.
I only
one-
have the
Go ahead.
1.18.28.
Oh, that should be good.
Okay, because like I get an error here.
Dash parameters.
So
Dash. Oh, here, hold on. I'm pretty sure I already know what you need to do. We made some changes. Let me find it. Thomas, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? With Spring Boot dash parameters. Like this is the thing. So here, release notes, parameter name discovery. So if you experience issues with dependency injection or property binding, you should double check that you're compiling with dash parameters. I want you to add this dash parameters. Here's
Okay.
the steps that we need to do in your. It had the Gradle config somewhere.
There it is. Or no? Let's put
There's a dash param. It's here. Right here. This. Do this.
Okay,
no,
task
this one's
with-
you. So I'll put
All
this
right.
into the chat,
okay.
and then I'll let you read about that after. So do that, and also put it over in the Discord. And there you go. And then yes, all right. So that should get us over that. That's my guess. All right, so
Okay.
let's
Local.
back. Let's hop back here. We rebooted.
Yeah.
And now we're going to try this Gatling test. So all we've done is enable virtual threads, and we expect to see better performance. So we did limit our threads to 10 to take away some of the benefit that the CPU is going to give us with its hyperthreading. So
We just did it at default, so it was at 200.
all right, so we're done.
Yeah.
And it passed. So
And then where it dropped.
all right, so this is a just yes, virtual threads, awesome improvement.
Yeah.
Right. So if
Yeah.
you were running into issues, load issues, this can help. So
Can help.
same, take away the hyperthreading, take away all the like same tiny platform. This can help.
Yeah.
Now, let's do something. We just took the default, so that's at 200. Now let's do this. Let's constrain it a little bit. Actually, yeah, let's constrain it a little bit. Right. So it was at 200. What would we expect here? We expect to see a even bigger difference, right, in performance. That's it.
Yeah.
We just see we expect to see a bigger difference between the virtual threads false and virtual threads true. So let's just do the false one first. So we're putting on a bigger constraint, turning this to false, constraint, false.
Yeah, but-
restart them both.
Yeah.
We expect to see a bigger delta.
And that was like the interesting question I was asking myself. Okay, it's probably really a question for Mark Thomas, because okay, why don't I just increase my Tomcat threads to 200,000? Like, I can enable virtual threads. Yeah, I can do it. But like, if you do the demos on a constrained environment.
And the question, why don't you just increase your threads? Because those are system threads.
Yeah.
Now, if you're running in a container, right, you ran into that FS limit, right? The number of what's the word? The handles, right? The file system handlers, those threads. The number of that becomes an issue. So yeah, you could increase that number and it'll still work in some cases. But then when you go in and you deploy it with other systems, you're going to be eating up these system threads, these operating system threads, and you're not going to let anything else work. You're going to strangle the rest of the system from those system threads.
Okay,
By doing it inside of the virtual machine, you're not strangling the rest of the system.
Okay, so you're saying, if I have the Tomcat thread default at 200, and I have the virtual threads, the what's it called? My application can still take advantage of like the whole CPU, like if I have a lot of threads, for example.
Yep.
But then if I have something else running, that doesn't work anymore. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
All
Cool.
Right. So now we're doing the constraint. We're going to do this. I hear girlfriend in the background.
My girlfriend is coming.
Quick.
Yeah. We'll be finished in 2 minutes.
And we're gonna just expect to see a even larger difference.
Yeah. I think that's going to take 100 minutes, or not 100 minutes. Like each connection's gonna take 1 second.
Yep. Because we're waiting.
Yeah,
it's waiting for them.
Yeah.
But as it scales up,
now you see now it did connection premature close connection timeout. Yeah. Yeah, so now we have 8,000 active.
And they're gonna wait.
Yeah, but that's like the thing I don't like about very simple demos. Like that's example. Like, okay, but it doesn't really like.
So the purpose of that 10 thread demo was to show the count of like, look, I'm on the exact same thread, right? It doesn't matter how many cores I have. I'm reusing that thread. There are no more additional operating system threads. That was the purpose of that.
Yeah.
It's because then you could be like, hey, how many system threads are there? And you could do the little math, and you can show in the logs that this is a new system thread, operating system.
Yeah.
So now
I know
we have our results, and yeah.
No, yeah.
94%
failed.
All right. So now we're gonna quick do this true. Which one is that? Let's see. True. So we're still constrained, but now we're doing the virtual threads enabled. We got to restart. We'll see.
Yeah.
Do that.
But like Gatling is really, really nice, like for doing stuff like that.
Yeah. Oops. And
yeah, I've read Simon's articles a few weeks ago. Like ever since I was like, I want to try that out.
The guys over at Azure, Julien Dubois. I've always been a big fan of JMeter. So I had JMeter scattered all over it, but then he kept on doing these things with Gatling. And I was like, I felt all this pressure because his, you get all the pretty graphs and the output that's tops it off, right? So no matter all the flexibility and all the patterns and the examples I had with JMeter, it was worth switching over just for the visuals, right? I didn't have to have the JMeter client. I could do a lot of really cool things.
Yeah. That's like I had JMeter tests as well when I was first doing load tests.
Yeah.
But like Gatling, just having it in a JUnit test, it's just way better.
So let's take a look at this one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
none failed. That's like still. I think still the best demo is like with the 200 with the defaults, because
Yep.
not many people are going to like change that.
Yep.
Most people are just going like, yeah, that's it, I'm done.
Fantastic. Well, that was
Nice.
a fun
Yeah.
little exercise.
Very fun.
And yeah, go
Nice.
get back to your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out with us for a little bit.
Was
Tell your
fun.
girlfriend I said hi and have a good trip.
Yeah.
In Vienna.
Thanks.
We'll see you when you get back.
Okay.
All
Then
right, see you, Thomas.
I just have one thing.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
the Spring. I think I've written you that. Like I did Spring authorization server with
Yeah.
like the for just a monolith. Like don't use it for a client. And it's like the first time I was like, yeah, that's Spring security, like the Spring Boot experience for Spring security.
Yeah.
Because you just have method security and you have this security, and then you do like a little JDBC user details manager, and you're done. That's like how
Did you
Spring
share
security. It's
If you didn't, you have time. You can still share it.
yeah, I have it. That's part of my article.
Oh, perfect.
And I wanna really do like a Keycloak Lite with that, because with doing something like HTMX with like server-side rendering, you could just have a Spring starter that gets your user management exactly like Keycloak with groups and users and everything. And you would just have to include the starter, and you're done with authentication. You'd use method security, and you're finished, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm doing another project.
All right. Well, good. Yeah.
Cool.
Keep us posted. Thanks
Yeah,
a bunch for
I'll
hanging
do.
out.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. See you, Thomas.
Bye-bye.
Ian, are you still there? I know you're working on stuff. You let me know when you're ready to jump back in. Oh, wait. Are you there? Maybe? I got you. All right. Ian, audio only. When you get back, cool. We're still here. Let's jump back into what I was working on. And here, we're good. When Ian gets back, we'll plug him in. We'll keep on going. So that was a fun little experiment. Just virtual threads, not virtual threads. There's benefit. So get more bang for the buck from your existing stuff because of the changes in Java 21 and Spring Boot 3.2, which has support for these virtual threads. So fantastic. We get it. Let's go. Do it. That's what we want you to do. We want you to get more bang for the buck out of your existing workloads. So we'll stop all of these processes. And yeah, and Thomas's demo was fun. So now I kind of want to do this one. So I'm going to jump in, and this is a project that I think is going to be, I think it's going to hit home even more. Let's switch to Java 21.0.1. Actually, you know what I think I want to do? Scalelist Java salt. I want to use Liberica. Why do I only have Timber in here? No, I have Liberica. I'm going to use 2101 Liberica. Pink Emma says, I really got to sink my teeth into virtual threads. I'm making a new binary file backend for our software, and I really should make sure we can process as much data as possible in parallel. Yes. Right? And if you just saw, right, really just that one Spring label, that one property change.
I returned.
Awesome, Ian.
My Bluetooth might be working.
Thread stuff, because I'm going to do another experiment. If I can see that you're still moving. Pig Emma, I'm glad that you're here. You don't have to say hi to come in. Like, you're just welcome. Like, I want this channel. This is the channel that you can just like come in. If we're neighbors, you just walk. You don't have to knock. You just walk in and make yourself at home. That's what I'm trying to do here. So thanks for being here. So we just, Ian's doing his thing, working through this GraalVM stuff. One of the other benefits that we have today that we didn't have you know, that long ago was the virtual threads, and I've got this demo that I should, yeah, I'm gonna just go with it. Oh, and again, I need to boost my voice. Man, I gotta figure out my audio here. So I'm gonna bump up. Hopefully that is better. But you continue to let me know. I will continue to up my volume as needed. And there we go. We'll go. So thank you for saying that. Boosting the voice. I'll continue to turn it up as long as I need. The other thing is, like, I know that when I'm looking away from the mic, it gets quiet, so I have to do better at looking at the mic. So here's my example. I think all I need to do is, let me look at my README because it's been a while. Let's do this Docker, which I really don't like this. I need to make other changes to it because I don't want you to have to do this either. And I should be able to actually just give this support. We're going to do the demo as it sits, and then we're going to make some improvements. Let's just go there. So we're going to do the Docker Compose up. It's going to pull down the latest version of Redis and Postgres, right? It pulled Redis. Oh, and we got Postgres. So cool. Let's take a look at that. All we did was say Postgres, cool, and then Redis. Fantastic. So we now have something up and running. Docker PS. They are running in the background. There's Redis, and there's Postgres. That's good enough. Then let's go back to our README. I'm going to do this. I'm going to start this, clean package, do skip tests just to go fast. mdnw clean package spring boot start. I'm going to say -d skip tests just for speed. We haven't changed anything. We just more test pass. Something failed. It said compiling 9 source files from Java C, debug, release 17 to target. What? Version, properties in Java 17. Ooh, we got some updates here. Okay, so I'm embarrassed that it's this old. So let's do the thing where we just say Spring Cubed. And let's see if we can upgrade to the latest and greatest without doing anything. Just run that recipe. So it says, oh, I got some interesting things. It doesn't have a number field. JC tree. Oh, that's my, I have a dependency here. Wait, what just happened? It does not have a member field. What's happening here? I believe it's this. I have to create a persistence. It should be. Do I need that? I don't think I need that. But let's try to get this upgraded. Redis, Web, Lombok, for reasons. We have test containers, do the test container thing. I don't think I need this. I think I get this with Spring Data JPA. And let's do this. My test container version, my cheat code to do this is I go over here. I shouldn't need that. Let's close up these old ones. And close that. Let's go over here to start spring.io because we made some changes since this demo was created. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to say, oops, I'm going to say Maven 3.2. I want to use Java 21, and I'm just going to build a similar project where I say, hey, I want Redis. I also want Postgres, and I want test containers, and maybe I want Docker Compose, and web. And I just like, hey, I want the same thing. Oh, of course I want actuator. And yeah, build it. And then I go explore, and I see like, hey, I don't need that property that says test container version anymore. Because I'm on 3.2.0, I'm switching to Java 21. The only other thing I think I need, actually, I don't think I need anything else. I think it's all there. What I'll see is that I get some of these cool benefits in my test application. I might leave that sitting there for just a sec. I can get rid of this, and I can get rid of this dependency management, because this was from a time long ago where I needed that. And I can do my builder, which that's okay. So I should be able to update. I should be able to get things going. Ian, how are you doing?
I am running a build image right now.
Okay.
From my actions, I added the part that you wanted me to Gradle. I'm still trying to understand this a little bit when I'm trying to read this here, because
So let me switch. You want to pull up your screen?
okay, I'm just looking at the just the parameter name retention.
Oh, you're reading the discussion and the release notes?
Yeah, or
Okay.
the wiki. I've added that, but I'm still trying to just
Understand it.
no longer. Yes.
Okay.
So local
Awesome.
variable.
I'm going to keep going here. I'm going to do one other thing. It says cannot do this. I'm going to change this projects. I'm going to change it to a different version. This one. And we'll see if that can work. So let's hit this button real quick. Please work. All right, I can see that's happening. We're making changes. Again, I'm upgrading this old project. I'm embarrassed that it was out there and it shouldn't be hard to upgrade. That's part of the story. Is I want you to understand that it's not that hard to stay on the latest and greatest. And how can I do that? How can I say those things and then just not do it myself? So I'm a little embarrassed. So let me go and upgrade these projects, right? Just like I asked you to. I want to lead by example. That's not too much. I can do that. I can take some steps and lead by example. You know what else I can do? I can add the Docker Compose support, right? I can go right here to my POM file and I can grab this Docker Compose. Where is it? Did I not add it? Here it is. I can add Docker Compose support. So that automatically does this for me. So then when I'm over here, I'm going to put it right here. So that when I'm doing this, I should be able to upgrade my my quick start. I shouldn't need this part. It should just do it for me. So we'll see. We're going to take some baby steps and we're going to upgrade. Hello. Are we indexed? It looks like it. So then I'm here. If I go back to my terminal, what was broken before, wait, did I do this? Spring Cube should just work. It shouldn't run into anything. Okay, it's going to go and it's going to look and see if there's any other things that I need to upgrade, because all I did was change the JVM version and the Spring Boot version. This recipe is actually going to go and see, like, did you really do it? Is there anything else? So look, it added, oh, it's going to add the glassfish and let's see what else. Changes have been made to application YAML. So let's see what it did. Let's do this. Get diff. Or no, we can do this. We can say Q, get status. So I did this on purpose. I did that manually, but it also made some source main resources in application YAML. What did it change? It said thread. Oh, you see that? It enabled virtual threads for me. You're upgrading to Spring Boot 3.2. Just make it automatically upgrade and enable virtual threads. That's a cool feature. That is something that's super duper cool, and yay, yay. Thank you. I'm going to disable it right now because I want to show the demo, but how cool is that? I'm going to go over here because in source test resources, it probably did the same thing. as it did. I would like to do that. Now this, I don't think this is Alpine, or it shouldn't need to be Alpine. This is the same thing I ran into. It should just be latest. Oops. So let me just do this. I think it's just latest. I think we'll be in good shape. This is where it's going to exist. Fantastic. Yeah, that's right. So let's do this, and let's try to run our example. So all that this is doing, let's explain what I expect it to do. Let's go back to my README. I want to run this. Let's see if we can. mdnw clean package spring boot start skip tests. I expect that this will work. Oh, it did not work. What happened? Test rule not found. Hold on. Ouch. Please hold. My glasses and these headphones are quite the combo.
Okay, 500. Circular path.
I need a different version of JUnit or something is wrong.
I am still getting the same error.
All right, let's take a look at your
because maybe could have added that to my I added it to my Gradle task, and I know that like basically is that it won't detect in bytecode like the parameters needed.
Yep.
Right. And I still though get this error thrown a bit.
Let me try to peek here. The program tried to reflectively invoke method CV backend user get ID without it being registered for runtime reflection.
So I need to either import that from like that custom, right?
To the reflection metadata to solve this problem. Why wouldn't it be in there? That shouldn't be an issue.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
By the way, your version of it might be different from mine too, because I've made some like.
Okay.
I've made a few changes.
This isn't because of Data Faker, is it?
So all I did was I have this user/me endpoint. I give out I already have a JWT. So I basically say, hey, who am I?
Mm-hmm.
And then it should give me my user details back, like some,
And
not user details, as like
failing.
Yeah. Well, 1 minute. Let me try to see if I can get like a change request or a group of them to display.
So this is where we want to build out our tests.
And it's yes. And I have like a false when there is like change requests in the database. I'm 100% sure I could look in DB Beaver and it would tell me like.
Okay.
But I can log in, so that means I at least can connect to the database.
Yeah. So what's happening right now is our GraalVM is not seeing what we need it to see.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't given it the right hints. All right. So this example that I'm looking at might help us understand what kind of issues we're running into.
Sorry.
So let's kick the tires on this, and let's see if we can find some similarities. So I got to fix let me scoot back. I've got to fix, oops, please hold. I'll bring my screen back up.
Okay.
And I'm only going to be able to stream for like 45 more minutes.
Okay, that's fair.
We'll
I mean, I got
here.
stuff to do too.
Yeah.
So
let's keep going here. I need this. this might be one of those changes. And again, this is just from knowing. I know I don't need this. I added that manually. Test or reactor test container changing. Oh, so this is what I don't need to do anymore. Okay, and now we should be good. All right, so it's like, hey, yeah, cool. I see what's going on. I see you got Docker Compose. We're good. Oh, I started it, so it's running. So that's running. So now if I do this, what this is going to do, it's going to try to load this CSV data, which is like
6.75 like megabytes.
Yeah. So there's thousands of entries, but the way that it's loading it into the database, into Postgres, that we just started up a fresh container, the way it's doing it is one row at a time. Read a row, write a row, read a row, write a row. All right. So I'm going to run these both. I'm just going to kind of follow the steps. So let's just do this. Let's time it. Time. Let's do them in. Yeah, we'll do them one at a time, right? Just to like keep things cool. Time HTTP. So I'm gonna see how long it takes. Time HTTP. I'm gonna hit this local 8080, and I'm gonna say load JPA. So this means just load this data. This is the Postgres endpoint. So I'll hit that, and I'm gonna not do anything else like we're doing the streaming, but we'll give it as much stuff as we can. We'll give it as much resources as we can. And it's gonna go do its thing. And it'll take some time. Actually, while it's going to take some minutes, I expect it to. But I haven't done it with Java 21, so it might go even faster. But let me show you the data. So I have this like base object that has the data from that CSV file, right? So county, license number, operation type, establishment, right? Just mapping those exact same things. The only difference, this store JPA extends from that same base store, but this object has a JPA ID called a license number. So in a constructor. So this is how we make a Postgres JPA version of that row. And on the other side, on the Redis side, it's not JPA. Redis is different. So a Redis hash, this is our ID. So still same object, license number, still extending from base store, but that's the only difference that we're doing, is we're doing one at a time. So let's go over into our config. You can see my runtime hints.
Yes.
My controller. So, hey, controller, this is where we're getting our data. It sets up the repositories in the exact same way. It says, hey, here's the CSV loader. I grabbed the fastest loader that I could when I did the test. Load that data. And then you'll see exactly, these are the exact same. Load Redis versus load JPA.
Yes. Load
do the
JPA.
exact same thing. Take my CVS loader, do the Redis repository, or do the JPA repository. So we can go and get the values afterwards. But I just really care about, we're just injecting data. We're doing it one at a time. And let's go look at the repositories. Like no difference, just CRUD repository, right? With the two different object types. So same, as same as we can be. And the last thing here is the CSV loader. It's the same. It's using the exact same CSV loader. Reading them into rows. Here's how we put it into Redis. Like, give me that Redis repository.
CRUD, yeah.
So it's the exact same thing. So it's same as much as possible. It's very, very plain. And I did it on purpose. Like read one, write one, read one, write one. And so there's no optimization at all. Read one row of that CSV file and then write it to the database. So here it took 2 minutes and 14 seconds, which is pretty awesome. So now let's do this same thing for Redis. Now I expect the demo. The whole point of the demo was Redis is going to load faster, right? That's when I made it. That's what I was trying to show. Load Redis, but it's same. So we'll see. And again, I created this demo. I think when I created it, I wasn't using Java 17 even. But yeah, now we've got Java 21 and we're using Spring Boot 3.2. So let's see what happens. I don't have virtual threads enabled yet, but let's see what happens here. So Redis, again, just going through the same thing, reading one row at a time and writing it out. And it's in Docker containers. So just simple, nothing fancy. 23 seconds. So that's a very big difference.
That definitely compared
So
to
now,
like 2 minutes. Yeah.
Here's the thing. I'm wondering, I don't know how much the Redis one will improve because I'm using reactive Redis, right?
Okay.
Non-block, go do the thing. I'm wondering how much the Postgres side will improve. I expect the Postgres. So our numbers were 214 and 23. I'm going to make some changes now to the same project. I'm gonna stop it, and we're gonna go over here and we're gonna enable virtual threads. This is the cool thing. Let's just do it here because we're gonna enable virtual threads. That's the only thing I want to change. What I'm also gonna do is I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do Docker compose down. Okay, we're cool. Docker PS. I've got, what is this? Oh, my K3D. It's cool. Because I also added the Docker compose piece. I think that because I have Docker compose here, maybe I need to change it to compose. Actually, I got two options here. I think if I just rename this, actually, I think I'll over Docker compose. What happened? Something is trying to connect. Who's trying to connect? Oh, my Spring Boot app is still running, so I got to do mvnw Spring Boot stop. My Spring Boot app was still running in the background. All right, so now JPS, I don't have my Spring Boot running. So I made my changes in both places. I want to, I think, right, my instructions here said, hey, go ahead and do the Docker Compose up. I don't think I need to do that because I added this Docker Compose. I said, hey, I want Docker Compose support. So I think if I do mvnw Spring Boot run, I think that'll say, oh, I see you've got Docker. Let me start it up for you. I might need to change the name. Look, it did. It's starting it up for me. So I didn't even need, so I can now take this step out because I've got Docker.
And just
Compose
remove
support.
that.
This is something that came in with Spring Boot 3.1. So fantastic. Now that's running. I'm going to do these same things, but I'm going to do them in a new window so we can keep our stuff side by side. So clear, I'm going to say time, HTTP, 8080, load JPA. Oh, yeah, load JPA. Now I've got virtual threads enabled. I expect this to go a little bit faster. I am only doing it one at a time, so I don't know. Right? I don't have any multi-threading or thread pools, but let's see. Let's just see. I expect it to be a little bit faster. It's not making any new calls. Yeah, it's just a loop. It probably won't be that much faster, if any. Right? The blocking is happening at the database. I didn't create new threads, so it's probably not going to go any faster. But I'm curious anyways. If I were to do this same thing with a thread pool, I would definitely be able to kind of do a comparison. But I didn't. I just want to see. It took 2.5 minutes the first time. I'd expected at least to be on the same kind of ballpark. wanted to change that where I made a new thread for each one where I did my load Redis in my CSV loader. I would do it here. Right? I do it on the repository save. Create a new thread and then do the repository save, right?
Mm-hmm.
In that thread. And so there's some cool stuff I can do with this demo.
Because you did you do this like back in Redis, or when you were at Redis,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And just saying like, hey, like, look, Redis is like extremely fast. Like, don't just use this as like
pain point, right? This was
yeah.
This Redis solved a problem that I ran into, and that problem was I had these millions of sources, millions of devices that were calling in and sending in their data every minute, millions.
Mm-hmm.
And the bottleneck was the writing to that RDBMS, that relational database, that Spring Data JPA. That was the bottleneck, is we were having problems getting that data in fast enough without errors, without the errors like we were seeing with Thomas's demo, where I was connections failed, retry, and we had all this extra logic because of the writing to the database, because that blocking issue. So just by switching to Redis,
you do not have that.
Fast writes. Yeah. I could do interesting things, right? The big thing I could do was I could put like a Redis here, and I could do a buffered. I could put all of the stuff into Redis and not lose those connections. I get all the data, and then on the out of that, I could have workers that then write that into the RDBMS. So instead of this being my bottleneck, I could have this queue that knows how to handle it. It's still slow, it's still a bottleneck, but I don't lose any of the data. I don't lose those connections. Mm-hmm. I get a better,
you were caching it even when you were like getting writes at that point almost, where you hold on to it and then just queue them up to like, oh.
I'm saying, hey, I want to get that data and I want to let go of that connection, because if I'm holding on to those connections when those millions of devices are coming in, that's a problem, right? That thread, mm-hmm. that long, because some of them are going to be fast writes, some of them are megabytes, right? So if I'm blocking on a user's transmission all the way to the database, which is what we were doing, that causes a problem. So if my user can write whatever size data they have, and I'm not holding on to that connection very long, I can have higher throughput. I can still have the block down here, but it's my connection between Redis and whatever's going to do this is better. So, like, nobody wants to lose data. Nobody wants to have to do the retry logic, because when you back up, that cascading backup can be a big issue. So as long as I have a big enough Redis to handle, I'm in great shape. I can also take some load off of my RDBMS, because it wasn't just writes, right? There was a bunch of reads that were happening.
And you can just point that to another Redis. Like, I know a lot of people like use Redis to like cache databases, and like unfortunately, there's like, I hate to say this, a good majority of people that are like, well, you only use Redis to really cache a database instead of like accept it as like a good database.
You can also use Redis as a good database. So Redis is just, it's so amazing and so fast that it gets used in the wrong way a lot of times. Mm-hmm. Right? A lot of times, hey, it's a good Band-Aid for your broken architecture. That's the kind of inside joke. It's like if you see Redis somewhere, it's like, what are you trying to hide? Like, what other bad decisions did you make that Redis is solving for you right now? But yeah, it works. And sometimes that's just kind of what you need until you can, you buy yourself some time with Redis and duct tape until you can, fix the rest of your architecture. But let's jump back here. It took even longer. took even longer this time.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows why? Well, let's see if the other one did as well. That would be an interesting find, right?
Yeah, that would
So
be.
I'm not going to. It was 23 seconds before, and maybe it's because we're doing other stuff, and who knows? But that'd be interesting. Let's see what this one does.
I was hoping that was going to be fast.
I was hoping it was going to be faster as well. Oh, you're starting to cut out. So yeah, my computer's probably running into issues with whatever I'm doing. Because yeah, this one seems to be taking a little bit longer too. So I must have some other stuff going on that I'm not aware of.
30 seconds.
So that took 30 seconds. So it did take longer, and significantly longer. So interesting nonetheless, but still orders of magnitude, they're very different. But yeah, I definitely didn't expect it to take longer here. So I'm going to change this because what I'm doing is I did a run. I didn't run it in the background either. Actually, no, I'm going to leave that start and stop. I'm going to remove just this. All right, so hey, it ran. It did its thing. I did, it wasn't all for lost. I was able to upgrade this project. There's one more thing that I want to do. Is here. I don't think I need this. Where I set up my test containers, I've got a better way of doing this. So I don't need these static properties. I'm going to go over and grab this. Actually, I'm going to do it all the way up. Going all the way up to here. And all I really did was that context load. And I'm going to do this application tests. I think I'm okay here. Why didn't I get test containers service connection? It should be here. Cyrus, you're here. That's the bonus of storing in memory instead of on disk. Yeah, I ended up adding Redis to one of my projects because writing to Postgres was locking up other things. Yes, causing us to exhaust the connection pool for Postgres. So when you use Redis right, you can really do some amazing things. Absolutely. Absolutely. So like, here's an issue. We set up these like connection pools, even like the Tomcat example. When I scale different things, Redis is pretty cool. It does some really cool things. But like, if I've got a bunch of things writing to this RDBMS, when I go from, I'm going to draw this block again. Let's say I had other just web thing, the old way, before I put in Redis, right? If I scale this thing, right, we set up our connection pool. We said, hey, just like Thomas was saying, like, oh, what if I just give it 200 threads? If those are running as containers on a host, like how many of those can you scale up to before you completely make this thing fall over, right? Whether it's threads, system threads, or virtual threads. How many of those can you scale up before this relational database falls over? If I'm writing to Redis, right, those faster writes into memory, shorter time, your time to failure is a whole lot further, right? Because those connections are lasting less. But it's one of those things that we always kind of forget about as we scale up. We have this like max connections. But every time that we scale that instance up one more time, we're getting that many more max connections. When you scale a new instance of your writer, are you changing your RDBMS? Are you aware of that change? Do you think about it? Or did you scale up your writer completely independent of your DBAs and without telling them anything? Right? Like, oh yeah, hey, we're gonna hit 100x normal high water mark on Friday because of sale. But if you didn't tell them, yeah, your app's going to scale up just fine, but it's going to scale up and all of those connections are going to make this guy fall over. And then everything else, all the reads and stuff that are happening off the other side, those are also going to start to fall in at that start of that cascading failure across your system. And when I put Redis in there, right, when I start to move these writes away from that RDBMS, that data JPA approach, and I start to write it into this much faster system, I can still have another thing doing the write down to the RDBMS. I can still have another box, but that box is set up with whatever 100 connections, and I set that up maybe as a worker, right? It's a queued worker. So at max, it has 100 connections to that database. So that when I scale up these guys, it doesn't matter. I'm going to have a queue here. My performance can scale. I can do that. And I'm not going to kill the database, which has that cascading failure on the read side. Right? You have to think about the big system. Sometimes we make changes independent of what the rest of the system is going to do. And just this example of finding the right way of using Redis, the right way of getting those benefits. Yeah, you have a lot of really interesting things you can do. A lot of really interesting problems can be solved with fairly simple changes. Right? I can then scale without killing my database. Just buying myself a little bit of time. And you definitely need, to size this properly, but that oftentimes is a whole lot cheaper than sizing this. So yeah, fun stuff. So my example, I was trying to figure that out, but I'm also paying attention to the time. I'm gonna see if I can fix this real quick. My Spring Boot test containers, I'm hoping is the one that's missing because I don't think that existed when I created this project. Here, let me push this down so I can see and get into my Palm Spring Boot test. I see test containers for Postgres, but I don't think I had this project. I think that's what I need. Got my compose. Cool. Do I need this? I don't think I need this. I don't need data Redis when I have Redis reactive, right? Maybe? I guess we'll find out. Again, I'm guessing. So we stop that. I put my test containers. I gave myself test containers. So all that passes. This is application. This is application. I have a class inside of the wrong file. Let me rename this file. Refactor rename file to test application. And then I should be able to now, because I have the service connection, because I have this test application class, I should just be able to run this class. It'll automatically set up my containers, and then it'll do all the rest of the stuff. I should be able to run this and have an application running. Lombok. Okay, I can do that. I don't like having to use Lombok, but Spring Data JPA kind of makes me do that. So it's running, it's doing its thing. So it's running inside my IDE. It's got my databases up and running. I'm feeling pretty good. So let me stop that. I've made some changes. I think I've improved this project. I'm no longer embarrassed because my repository has these outdated versions of things. My tests all pass. I added test containers support. Oh, I realized I didn't need the Spring Data Redis. Actually, I didn't test that. Let me do, I could add, but maybe I'll say that for later. Let me do this real quick. I'm going to run that test application. And then I'm going to do this one more time. Oh, connection. Oh, it's not going to be on those same ports. So yeah, I'll circle back to that. So I got a couple more steps, but what I'd like to do is make it so that my tests, I just want to have my tests run inside those Docker containers as part of my path of reduction. Maybe I just run some subset of it to make sure that it's working. That'd be a good idea. It's like, if I just took like 20 lines of this and just had it run those endpoints as a part of my test to validate, hey, yeah, everything's still working. So I could get some code coverage while I'm doing it. That'd be a good next step. But for now, git status. Let's update this and let's call it good. Git add dot, git commit, upgrade to Java 21 and Spring Boot 3.2 with virtual threads. Good. And now there's one more repository that I'm not embarrassed about. And we're doing stuff. So thank you for going on that little journey with me. And Cyrus says, if I remember right, our Redis instance was handling up to 290 to 350,000 requests a second with slave master replication. The slowest part was the write to disk every 10,000 requests, just in case the server fell over. Yes, so Redis does have this ability of persisting to disk because we don't want to lose those writes. So it's got this really amazing thing. One of the things for customers, the 350,000 requests is nothing. It's nothing. I literally have done reference implementations with millions of requests per second on not a lot of hardware using Redis Enterprise. Millions of requests per second. You probably remember that example, Ian. I'm sure I told you guys about it. Like, it's, yeah, night and day. Like, there's nothing that comes close to it. And when you've got, we can make a lot of things sound really cool. It depends on how large were those writes. But yeah, it's fast. And if you are interested in having that kind of thing, the other I'll show, Ian, you've probably already seen this too. My children will never deploy active passive. This is a really good talk. Like, go check it out. You can just get to it from Deshawn.com, where I deploy to multiple regions. Let's see. I'll see if I can. I want to get to like the picture. So in the demo, I deploy the same application to multiple regions, and I'm doing writes to multiple regions. So one in the US and one over in Europe. And both databases are showing the exact same data because this is how it happens. If you write over here to the US, it writes to its replica. And then from its replica, it writes over to Europe. So in Europe, if I was writing to the exact same thing in Europe at the exact same time, it writes to its replica, so it has a backup, and then it writes that over here so that everybody has the exact same set of data. And if there's, you write the exact same object, the exact same hash or whatever at the exact same time, each different data type has its way of figuring out who wins. But you still have this active capability. And I do this demo, and at the end of the demo, I do a Azure region.delete. I just delete the whole thing from the US so that I'm then forced, but I have this load balancer. So if I'm a client, it automatically redirects me over to Europe. In my demo, it'll add a little bit of latency, but I'm not down. I don't lose any of that data. So everything is still good. And then I can bring this back up and I can wait for everything to come back healthy, and then I'm active again. And it's a great demo. And it doesn't take much to stand up, but having that active capability across different regions to get to that, high resiliency, high reliability number is pretty cool. So if you get a chance, I was showing like which regions I was deploying to, and I can do this for multiple regions, not just 2. So yes, and today, yep, right. I hope that everything that you work on scales to the point where you've got global customers, and you have to do this, right? So even in my home lab, I'm doing this. Like it's just kind of a default, and that's why I say, my children will never deploy active passive because it's just we can do better. We can do. There's a lot of interesting options. But this talk kind of goes through some of the good practices, better practices on how to do that. So yeah, if you get a chance, check it out. It was fun. And I could expand on that one too. Because in this one, I didn't... Spring Boot gives me some of those retry capabilities. So if I've done it where if I have the front end, where I ask that front end as like the client, I ask it, and if US just went down, it'll automatically redirect me over to Europe. I could build that into my client instead of having to do the retry manually. And I didn't do that for this video, but that wouldn't take that much to add that piece on, and I should do that. No, we got time. We got plenty of time. So with that, I'm going to wrap up. Ian, how are you doing?
Yes.
Let's bring you.
I am not doing too hot right now. I'm wondering why I'm having reflection issues. It's just kind of weird. I tried to scrap out like the Lombok to that user response. That did not work. So
well, commit it. Like we're learning here. Just commit your changes. We'll continue to look and see if we can improve it. But that'll give me a chance to look at it offline, and we'll see if we can make some changes and
alrighty,
take it to the next
awesome.
step.
Thank you again. Like
homework that I want you to look at.
Yes.
Because I'm going to be learning it too. I need to get deeper into it, but this is a great example of this use case. Like right now, you've got these 2 different projects that are in 2 different apps. Spring Modulith says, hey, like, do I really need 2 different artifacts deployed? Like, just makes you ask the question of, I could have my front end and my back end in the same project, but set up in a way that they're not cheating, so that if at some point I needed to scale my back end separately from my front end, I could easily separate them into modules. But I just want to keep it in one project. This is
in one repo.
The Spring project that helps make that happen. It puts guardrails in place so that you're not cheating. Your front end's not calling back end code, the wrong way. Your classes are set up proper way. So yeah, you can split things out into modules. And this is also kind of what Thomas was alluding to. So I want you to take a look at this project because I'm going to be doing it as well.
Okay.
And
what should I? So what is it called then, or are we talking about like doing?
Sorry, I wasn't.
Spring model. Okay, model. Okay.
So I will put that into the chat. This is the project that I'm going to be demonstrating a lot in 2024. I'm excited about it.
All right.
And again, I'm deploying to Raspberry Pis. I'm deploying to these small things. I want to be able to scale to 0 and stand up when I need it. But I got a lot of projects that I want to kind of get out there. So that's what we'll do.
Okay. I'm going to be, I don't know if you really want to meet, but I will be busy this week because I got finals going on. So
I am going to be in Montreal. So I'm taking my son. My son's going to come and he's going to present with me
awesome.
At a Java user group in Montreal and at a couple of customers. So he's going to come and he's going to do these demos with me. So Thomas says, but what if your front end is your back end? Right? I think, right? Thomas knows. If you get a chance, check out Thomas's work.
Okay.
Also, this is
I think I might follow him on Twitter now.
You probably should. He's super brilliant, and he's always asks great questions, and he takes things for a spin. He's definitely at the kind of the front of the pack, and he's wise beyond his years for sure. He's got a lot of great stuff. So definitely check out his repository. Oh, wait, how was I not following? I'm embarrassed. But yes, this is, he's amazing. And I'm so happy that we got to hang out with him today. And yeah, I've actually gotten to sit by him at lunch.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's awesome. So check him out.
Okay. All right.
And,
I will.
Good luck with your finals.
Thank you.
And, yeah, I'll be back this week. I'll be traveling and stuff too while you do your finals. But we're always welcome. I'd love to just like have you come in and hang out, and we can keep on working on some more projects and just hang out and have fun and learn together.
Alrighty. Okay.
All right.
Awesome.
Thanks so much for hanging out with me.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Take care. All right. See you.
See ya.
Bye.